Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's IHSAA softball broadcast on Hamilton County Television, sponsored by Logan Street Signs and Banners, celebrating 25 years of business. I'm Brad Silbert along with Perry Williams. Before we get any farther, Perry, let's go ahead and thank the rest of our great sponsors.
That sounds good. Logan Street Signs and Banners, Noblesville Trophies, the Wolford Theater, Movies on the Road, Community Health, Church Hidland Anthem, Ivy Tech, Smith's Jewelers, Mark Hairbrand, Bold and Sassy Salon, the salon and haircut for Jim Wolford, right?
It sure is.
And Indiana Restorations and Yancey's Fine Apparel and Tuxedo Rental.
Well, Perry, it is 55 degrees outside, but before we go any farther, we're going to turn it over to the public address announcer, Janet Chandler, for the introduction of the lineups and the national anthem.
Number 18, Judy Brooks, and number 21, Julia Furia. Starting lineup for the Millers, leading off at shortstop, number 10, Maddie Moore. Batting second at third base, number 7, Grace Smith. Hitting third at first base, number 12, Emily Minette. Hitting fourth and on the mound for the Millers, number 19, Brooke Heron. Batting fifth in left field, number 2, Evan Brown. Hitting sixth, the designated player, number 5, Bree Tragasser. She is batting for right fielder, number 3, Taylor Mayo. Batting seventh at second base, number 9, Carly Lowry. Hitting eighth and during the action, number 22, and batting ninth at center field, number 11, Olivia Stinson. The Millers are coached by Dave Muller.
Yeah, it's too much wind for that headset. Yeah, it's real bad. Oh.
Top starters for the Royals, number 17, Colby Hosfield. Number 22, Lily Upchurch. Number 14, Bree Zook. Number 11, Abby Taylor. Number 10, Jenny Turok. Number 1, Eliza Moore. And number 6, Shelby Bertold. Starting lineup for the Royals, leading off at shortstop, number 27, Nicole Dillow. Batting second in right field, number 24, Caitlin Schonborg. Hitting third and playing second base, number 3, Jordan Rager. Batting fourth at third base, number 44, Libby Ratland. Hitting fifth, the catcher, number 31, Ashton Keel. Batting sixth in center field, number 35, Nicole Lang. Hitting seventh, the designated player, number 7, Jayla Gilliam. She is batting for pitcher, number 16, Alexis Maka. Hitting eighth at first base, number 9, Kaylee Carter, and batting ninth in left field, number 15, Danielle Planet. Royals are coached by Dave Cook with assistance from Jeff Moore. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the playing of our national anthem.
You know, Perry, I usually like to start these broadcasts out by saying something to the effect, it's a beautiful day for a ball game, but any day at the old ballpark is always a good day. However, this afternoon here at Hamilton Southeastern High School, the temperature is 55 degrees. Wind chill factor, this surprised me. I thought it would be a little lower, but it's only 49, and we have a very, very strong northwest wind blowing at 21 miles an hour across this field. It's going to make it interesting out there for the fielders today.
Absolutely. It'll be it'll be quite a challenge for outfielders catching pop flies. You know, Brad, I always love to come to Hamilton Southeastern softball field because you can look out at all these fields across here. Looks like lacrosse going on down there, youth baseball playing on the big field, the JV game going on right next to us, and then youth fields down there. It's just a great spot to see a lot of young people, which you and I cherish greatly, get the opportunity to play sports. If you just count
the number of cars out here, it's just amazing with everything that is going on out here on this field, all the youth league, the high school games, and everything else that is going on. So we're about ready to play ball here. Leading off for the Millers will be their shortstop. Maddie Moore comes in batting .444. Alexa Maka on the mound. First pitch right at the shortstop. Great stop there by Nicole Dillo. She just kind of jumped up there and timed that thing perfectly to get the first out.
Very good play. Maddie Moore's on her way to Butler next year. She'll be playing softball for the Butler Bulldogs.
A lot of talent in Hamilton County and also in the conference as far as softball and a lot of sports. First pitch to Grace Smith, a third baseman. Strike one.
This is a good junior here. She's a good ball player. She's started since a freshman.
There's a well-hit ball to center field. That wind helped that out quite a bit. That was over the head of Nicole Lang. And Grace Smith is going to be in with a stand-up double. I don't know if the wind helped that much, Perry, because she got all of that ball.
Yeah.
And that thing flew over the head of Nicole Lang. And the Millers are in gear here with the first hit of the game and a runner in scoring position with one out here in the bottom of the first. And the number 3 batter, Emily Minot, coming to the plate. Minot is a .418 batter. Lots of power in this lineup.
Yeah, and she's a sophomore.
First pitch from Maka to Minot's a little bit high at outside, ball one. There's a pop-up on the infield. Looks like going to be out of play, but Kaylee Carter goes over and makes the play on that. So Minot's retired for the second out of the inning. Brooke Heron, not only the pitcher on this team, but one of the leading batters, batting .439, batting cleanup her senior season. It's been fun watching her play. Swing and a miss.
You know, by Brooke playing 4 years of starting varsity in basketball and softball, I've seen her play a lot of sports.
Oh, yeah.
She's on her way to St. Francis.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine that Coach Cook has probably looked out to Alexis Maka out there and said, don't give her anything to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, I think he'd rather have her walk on first base than get the bat on the ball. Because that's 3 pitches in a row that are outside.
And especially with the speed Gracie Smith has, you know. Won't take much of a hit to get Smith home.
Especially with 2 outs.
Yeah.
There's a strike over the inside corner. Evens a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the top of the first, no score, 1 on, 2 outs. That's well hit, but that's going to go out of play to the left. Just as we were talking about the wind, Perry, we take a look out at the flag now, and it's
kind of died down a little bit.
Died down just a little bit, but boy, when they were introducing the players,
they were standing straight.
Anthem, well, you know, it probably does that on command.
Yeah. That may be something David Cook controls.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Ground ball to the second baseman, Rager, back over to Carter, and the Millers go down in the first, but in the first there's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left in the bases, no score. We're moving down to the second, to the bottom of the first.
All right, we want to talk a little bit about Yancey's Apparel, doing business in Noblesville for over 40 years. It's now located inside Logan Street signs and banners. You can enter on the north side door. Call Dan at 317-773-2973 for all your tuxedo needs.
You know, it's that time of year, proms,
yeah,
and everything, and the other thing about them is they guarantee the best prices around, Perry. They're telling 110 to 155 for everything. Of course, it's been a while since I've been to a prom.
Yeah, me too.
Been a while since I've had to use formal wear.
Yeah. And I'm all right with that, though. I'm not.
Don't forget about Yancey's there, right inside of Logan Street signs. The Royals will be coming up for the first time in this game. Nicole Dillow, Caitlin Schonborn, and Jordan Rager will step to the plate. Royals come in here today at 7-5. They are 2-2 in the conference, whereas the Millers are 2-0 in the conference. So an important game for both of these teams. Could be a preview of the sectional that we're going to have coming up here on Hamilton County Television in just a few weeks from Fishers, when we'll be doing some of the softball sectional games.
Yeah, you and I talked about that a little bit before the game, and I think it's a wide open tournament.
Yes, it is.
Because, even, with Westfield, I mean, they got a good hitting team. I mean, they...
That one's in just a little bit low, so Heron falls behind the leadoff hitter Dillow, 2-0. Two 2-0 pitch gets off to the back to the screen, 3-0. Not a real good start for Brooke Heron. She's usually got a little better location than that, Perry. But it is cold, and that wind is blowing almost right across her face right now. Gets a called strike, 3-1. Dillow is a .350 batter. Overall, the Royals are batting .319 as a team. There's a well-hit ball to right center field, but right at the warning track, and Taylor Nail is there to make the out.
Right fielder drifts back to make the catch for out number 1. Now batting is
right fielder Caitlin Schonborn steps in. Yeah, from what I've seen, this is the third or fourth game I've seen that Brooke has thrown, and she's usually getting out in front of the batters.
Yeah. I would think it would be, because pitching in softball is a lot of, feel and touch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would imagine today's going to be a little bit tough on the old fingers and hands.
Oh, yeah. Evens a count at 1-1. 2 inside fastballs there. One nipped the corner. The one was a little bit inside. Schonborn playing in right field for Coach Dave Cook today. That one's outside. 2 balls and a strike. The Millers and the Royals, one of the probably one of the longest rivalries in Hamilton County there's been for quite a while between these two teams.
Absolutely.
Great rivalries in this county. That's a strike.
It's going to seem kind of funny, the Indiana High School Athletic Association came out yesterday with...
I saw that.
The football.
Yeah.
Southeastern and Fishers and Noblesville not being together will seem kind of strange.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it definitely will, and that's it's happened a couple of times. And the strange thing is, Southeastern and Fishers are ended up in the south bracket of the state now.
Yeah,
they'll start off against North Central and Pike. Pop up there. That's Maddie Moore under it. She makes the play for the second out.
And it makes perfect sense. Carmel's in the north and Southeastern Fishers.
Well,
they must have really drawn that line across there, and said, well. Here's the boundary.
Well, if you go straight down 131st Street, if you cross the river, Carmel High School legitimately is on the north side.
Yeah.
Fishers High School is on the south. So.
I guess. But that's kind of splitting hairs, isn't it?
Yeah. But, of course,
you got to do it somewhere.
Yeah, but the addition of Westfield into the 6A this year.
That's a base
like that's
hit.
going to fall in for a base hit. So Jordan Rager picks up the first hit of the day for the Royals. 2-out hit.
Third baseman number 44, Libby Ratliff. Ashton Keel is on deck.
Ratliff coming into the game here hitting 366.
You often wonder on a day like today if it'll be a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
I can remember growing up in suburban Chicago and wanting to get out there at this time of year and play baseball and being up there and saying, okay, I want to hit this ball, but, boy, I don't want that sting of the bat.
Boy, and it would, too.
Yeah.
Nice
There's another hit. 2 hits in a row for the Royals.
Ratliff line drives to
So that puts Jordan Rager at second, Libby Ratliff at first. That was a nice little line drive over the arms of Matty Moore there at third base, and that's going to bring up the catcher Ashton Keel.
Keel's a senior, batting 275.
I had seen Dave after lunch, and he said they're going to make a decision by 1. Because it's Mooresville, right?
Nice pitch right over the outside corner of the plate, about belt high.
I got an email.
I think Keel would probably like to have that pitch back, wouldn't you say, Penny?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So it's probably by 2:30, 2:45.
The 0-1 pitch. That's going to go all
That's
the way
base
to the
hit.
wall, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
going to score at least 1. It's probably going to score 2. Nope, Dave Cook ends up holding Libby Ratliff at third base. But a double for Ashton Keel. Third hit of the inning. More importantly for the Royals, the first run of the game. And that sets up runners at second and third. 2 outs, and Nicole Lang at the plate.
Looks like we got a pinch runner there for.
I didn't.
first runner at second base, number 1, Eliza Moore.
Eliza Moore into do the courtesy running for Ashton Keel for the catcher.
Yeah, and then we got that one that it was something behind the whole plate.
Well, and they hadn't put that.
Nice block there by.
Rundle did a
Rundle.
good job of not letting that ball get by her.
Yeah, because that has scored another run for sure.
Yeah, with the short fences here, it could make for some interesting plays at home. The 1-0 pitch, that one's way outside. 1 run on 3 hits so far for the Royals. Miller's had a hit in the top of the first, but stranded their runner. There's a foul ball. First strike, 2-1 now on Nicole Lang.
So, like Friday night, he had this thing he wanted me to say about Julie Johnson. Right. So, she went to national anthem.
Playing Lang shaded just a little bit to the left field side.
Get here,
Infield at normal depth. Royals with 2 runners in scoring positions. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's popped up. That should end the inning. Maddie Moore is under it. She makes the play.
You could tell, even with a good player like Maddie Moore, that wind was playing a little havoc on her.
You just can't tell. So in the bottom of the first for the Royals, they do score 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors. 1 left on the bases. At the end of 1, it's Royals 1, Millers nothing.
Logan Street Signs, celebrating 25 years of Logan Street Signs and Banners, specializing in last-minute signage and banners. Serving Noblesville and Hamilton County since 1992. You can contact them at 317-773-7200 or check them out on their website, loganstreetsigns.com. It's kind of funny, a couple good stories here on Logan Street Signs and Banners. It's not on Logan Street anymore.
Yeah.
It hadn't been for 22 years. And, our boss, Jim Wolford, he doesn't even look like he's 25,
You don't think so?
Maybe a little bit.
26, 27.
Yeah. And if he'd get his hair colored, man, you couldn't tell it, man.
The number 5, 6, and 7 batters in Deke Bullard's order are going to come up this inning for the Millers. That'll be Abby Brown, Bree Tergesser, and Kylie Lowry. First pitch to Abby Brown misses 1-0. Alexis Maka is one of those pitchers who elects to wear the mask while she's pitching. That one gets away from Keel. It's a hard ball to block there, the way that ball just it bounced in there.
I'm a big fan of the mask for girls in softball pitching. I had a granddaughter that played in Tennessee that was very hard-headed and wouldn't wear it when she pitched, and she paid dearly.
Mm-hmm.
So about $10,000 later in dental work.
Cosmetic surgery, dental surgery.
She kind of realized she probably should wear it.
Well, look at the number of baseball players that had their career ended.
Yeah.
With serious injury, getting hit in the head. You know, it's really comes down to it's really equal. And of course, the other thing with softball is the softball pitcher is
you're so close.
Only about a little over 40 feet away from home plate.
Yeah. I'm always amazed at third baseman that plays girls softball, man.
They're right there.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss by Brown. She's retired.
Right, what we got here?
We have one away. Now batting would be the designated player.
I think they're saying there was no pitch.
Kylie Lowry on deck.
Yeah, apparently there was no pitch. I believe somebody may have called timeout. So they're saying there was no pitch.
My apologies. Brown still up for play. 2-2.
So we go back to 2-2 with no outs. I didn't see anybody call timeout, but the third base umpire came right in and motioned that there was no pitch. That should be called strike 3, so she's down one way there.
And David didn't grumble too much, so it must have been.
No. That'll bring up the designated player, Bree Tergesser.
Tergesser's hitting 342. She having a good season. She's a senior.
Millers have got 3 players batting over 400.
Yeah, they're a very good hitting team.
3 players batting over 300.
Yeah, they're hitting 361 as a team.
Mm-hmm. The 0-1 pitch from Alex Maka. A little bit outside.
I don't think she got it like she wanted it. It just didn't do really anything.
Well, you know, when it's only 55 degrees, in the wind chill is 49.
Yeah.
That the grip in any sport where you're throwing something, you know, regardless of whether it's softball, baseball, football, wherever you got to throw that ball, that grip is so important. It's probably hard to get a good grip on that ball today. There's a well-hit ball to left field, right to the outstretched hands of Danielle Plant, but it gets over her head, and Bree Tergesser is into second base, standing up.
Now on that ball, it looked like to me, Brad, the wind may have affected that a little bit. I mean,
yeah, I think it did.
The first one Gracie Smith hit, I don't think she could have got to it with or without wind, you know. But that one, it looked like it drifted on her pretty good.
Yeah, and that was a line drive as compared to a pop fly, and it did drift over to the left of Danielle Plant. But the bottom line is the Millers, who've got a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And Kaylee Lowry steps in, 200 batter.
Another sophomore, Coach Bullard has a mixture of he's got a good sophomore class. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Of course, when you lose your catcher, your pitcher, and a shortstop, those are pretty big holes to fill in a softball program, but.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Thought about bunting, pulled the bat back in time, makes it 2-1. But, we were saying earlier that you look at the HCC and look at Hamilton County, and you really don't have a dominant softball team this year like we've had in the past.
Absolutely.
Foul tip, evens the count up at 2-2.
That was a good pitch right there.
Nice off speed.
Yeah, it was. In fact, she was lucky to tip that.
I think she was looking more for a fastball, but managed to hold the bat back a little and just get the tip of the bat.
Get a nipper.
Yep. Just nip the bat.
Get the nipper. Oh, she
right over the outside. Oh boy. There was not a strike called on that.
What happened here?
I'm not sure what happened, but the umpire did not call a strike.
Did she not swing?
No, she did not swing at that ball, and the ball was over the outside corner of the plate. And I thought it looked, from my vantage point, I thought it looked good enough to be a called strike.
Oh, I did too. I
thought he was going to ring her up, and he never signaled. I don't know what the count is. It's full count now, 3-2.
He called an illegal pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, an illegal pitch. Okay.
I kind of thought it was an illegal pitch because, David went down to talk to the third baseman umpire, and I'm sure he called it. Or I'm positive he called it.
So it's a full count with one out. Kylie Lowry, right over the inside corner of the plate, caught her looking for 2 outs. That brings up catcher Brooke Rundle.
For the catcher, number 22, Brooke Rundle. Olivia Stinson is on deck.
That was weird.
That one looked a little bit inside to me.
Yeah, that's kind of me too, but
Foul ball.
they have a tough job to do out there. So, one thing we've learned is no use arguing balls and strikes. You're never going to win.
Rundle with 1 home run so far this season.
This girl didn't touch the plate. So I always wait
0-1 on the catcher Rundle. That one's outside. Ooh. Wow. I'm not going to call those anymore until I see the hand go up or down.
We're sitting in the wrong place tonight.
Yeah. Well, we've got a pretty clear view of the right side of that plate. And
we have a better view than he does.
Yeah.
Really.
Another one in the same place.
Now that was more like a strike
It sure
than the one
was.
before.
So in the top of the second for the Millers, there was no runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on the bases. We're in the middle of the second. Score remains: the Hamilton Southeastern Royals 1, the Noblesville Millers 0.
Noblesville Trophies offers a large range of products, including sports trophies, corporate awards, in-house embroidery. Noblesville Trophies provides you with a same-day service for those last-minute decisions. Contact them at 317-773-7391 or check them out on their website, noblesvilletrophies.com. Also follow them on Facebook and Twitter.
Perry, we got a lot of stuff coming up here on Hamilton County Television. Our next baseball game is scheduled for Saturday. That will be in the Hamilton Southeastern Royals going to Noblesville to Dunker Field. But before that, we're going to have a couple lacrosse matches. So lots of sports coming up here on Hamilton County Television.
Yeah, the lacrosse people have been very, very good to both Logan Street Signs and Noblesville Trophies. So Jim's always that loyal local businessman and wants to give them a little bit of love. And are those girls' games or boys' games?
Let's see. They are 1 girls and 1 boys.
Yeah.
1 of each.
The boys are kind of struggling a little bit, but that girls' team's about as good as you're going to get.
Yes, they are. Royals with a 1-0 lead. The 6, 7, and 8 batters coming in to face Brooke Heron.
Let's see if Brooke settles in a little bit better here in this second inning.
This, of course, will be Brooke's last trip to the baseball-softball complex here at Hamilton Southeastern. She gets to bounce right back to Brooke, so one out in the bottom of the second. Jayla Gilliam steps in. She is a designated player today.
Is that from the big field? Over there? No, but there's a lacrosse game, and they're warming up. That's it.
Brad, how did they watch your broadcast?
Anybody who'd like to watch the broadcast can go to www.hctv1.com, and the game is on live right now. Be available for fans to watch after tonight on download at the same address, hctv1.com.
The numeral?
Yeah, the number 1.
Okay, thank you. We have 2 away. That'll bring up left fielder, number 15, Danielle Planet, with Nicole Dillo on deck.
Got 2 outs here.
I got a little messed up on my scorebook here, Perry. I'm trying to get caught up here.
Trying to figure this out. Oh, high pop fly out of play. Count goes to 0-2.
So this is left fielder Danielle Plant.
Yes.
571 is her batting average.
Pretty good little batting average there.
Mm-hmm. Outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, I see where I made my error. I have it corrected, and I should be okay now, I think. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That makes it a full count.
You know, Brooke had 0-2 on Planet and then come back and it's throwing 3 straight balls.
Full count pitch. Another inside fastball right at the knees for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the bottom of the second for the Royals, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on the field. So we're at 1-0 after 2. And Jim Wofford, he's got some movies coming up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does. Wofford Theater movies on the go now, and he's got free movies at Witten Park coming up here in Frizier's at Saxony May the 20th, and then he has one June 3rd and June 17th. And then he starts out in the park on June the 2nd through August the 4th every Friday night.
That's at Forest Park, isn't it?
Yeah, Forest Park has those classic movies there. So a great time. And then, of course, he'll be a night of the Noblesville Main Street. He'll be in Federal Hill Commons, which was supposed to open up last weekend, but as everyone knows, all it did was rain. So they didn't have the ceremony, and they've changed that, and it's going to be May the 13th.
Well, don't feel too bad, Perry. I went to Chicago over the weekend for a family gathering on Saturday.
Yeah.
And the trip took about 2 hours longer than normal just to get through Chicago because of rain and traffic. It was the worst I have ever seen in my years.
Really?
The number 9 batter, Olivia Stinson, steps in for Deke Bullard. We're in the top of the third. The Royals are ahead 1-0. Mock is the pitch. That's a foul ball.
She's what they call a slap hitter.
Yep, a slapper. Now you talk about the movies in the park. Patch Adams is coming in. That is one of my favorite all-time movies. I just love that movie. Right back to the third baseman, Dillo. Gets it over to first to Kaylee Carter for the out. That's why they play so close there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Going back to the top of the order for the Millers, Maddie Moore, who hit a line drive to the shortstop first time up.
Mm-hmm. I think Robin Williams, his life was cut short, but
what a tremendous actor.
A tremendously talented man. Between him and Jonathan Winters, I cannot think of two more talented comedians I ever had the pleasure of seeing. There's a bunt. That one goes foul.
You know, another one we lost early in was John Candy, too. He was one of my favorites.
Uncle Buck.
That's right, Uncle Buck. Those are classics. Jimmy needs to play Uncle Buck.
Yeah. Well,
it may not be old enough.
You look more like Uncle Buck.
Yeah, it may not be old enough. Ooh, that
well
could
hit to center field. That's going to be over the head of Nicole Lang. And Maddie Moore is on with a double. Millers have been hitting the ball fairly well. Each of the innings they've had one hit, but just have not been able to get the ball in or get the runners to the plate.
You know, that ball looked like it was going to be a line drive, and then it was kind of rising, wasn't it?
It was. And
went right over her head.
I think Nicole had a little bit of a hard time judging where that thing was coming from, and maybe the wind kind of shifted that around a little bit too. This is Grace Smith. She had a double her last time up. Here's a steal attempt. She's out.
Yeah, that was a great play, though. I mean, you know, Maddie Moore got a good jump, but, man, the throw was right on and right in the spot. I mean, there was no doubt.
Well, and what makes that play even more difficult for Ashton Keel is the fact she's got a right-handed batter throwing to third base. And so you kind of have to step back because you can't expect the batter to say, I'll get out of the way.
You know, and for Zeke Bullard, that was a play you got to make, okay? And it took a perfect throw to get her.
Mm-hmm.
But
that one's going to get through. Well, that just shows how big that caught stealing was there.
Right.
This game would have been tied up.
Yep.
Fourth hit of the day for the Millers. They've out-hit the Royals 4-3 so far. Emily Minot steps in. She popped out to center field her last time up. Pretty well-hit ball. But Nicole Lang was able to get under it. Little bit low, and ball one.
Grace Smith's got good speed here, so.
Well, you got your number 3 batter up there.
Of course, you got 2 outs.
Yeah.
Ooh,
foul ball right over the head of Libby Ratliff at third base. That thing was hit so hard that Libby she just did not have a chance to.
No chance.
Yeah, didn't have a chance to react to it. In spite of the cool weather, nice crowd out here this afternoon. A ball and a strike, 2 outs, 1 on. High. Keel thought about throwing down to first base there to Kaylee Carter. See if she could get Grace Smith leaning, but did not throw.
In fact, the park is really full with all this activity going on around us here.
Another foul ball evens a count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Looks like there's something going on over at the football field. Is that a lacrosse?
Lacrosse, yeah, I see the net out there now. Varsity baseball just finishing up their practice for the day. Another 2-2 pitch. That is very well hit. If that stays fair, that could be trouble. Nope, it goes foul. I thought that ball took off. The way that thing took off, I thought that was going to be out of the park.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be pretty easy out of the park. Just a little concerned about it being foul, but it just kind of hung up there.
Just got to round out in front of it just a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. How many times have we said that already?
Yeah.
I said bad about 3 or 4 times already. The pitch from Maka. A little bit outside, but it's good enough. So that is the 3rd out of the inning for the Millers in the bottom of the 3rd. Millers get no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on the bases. The big play was that caught stealing that kept the Millers from scoring in the 3rd. So middle of the 3rd still remains Royals 1, Millers nothing.
Ivy Tech prepares Indiana residents to learn, live, and work in a diverse and competitive environment. To answer any questions on enrolling or general information, you can visit their website is www.ivytech.edu or give them a call on 317-921-4300.
We got a lot of activity coming up here on Hamilton County Television this weekend. Got lacrosse, girls and boys lacrosse from Hare Chevrolet Field. I got the wrong field.
That's right. And then
thinking of the wrong sponsor.
And then that night is Dunker Field.
Yeah, that night we'll be back. Are you going to be with me Saturday night?
No, I have a wedding to go to.
You're excused. That's why you have to go get that formal wear, right?
No. Thank goodness.
We're moving into the bottom of the 3rd. Top of the order up again for the Royals. Nicole Dillow flew out to left field her first time up. Another pitch high and outside. 2 balls and a strike to Nicole Dillow. There's one that's going to get called for a strike. I'm guessing. I think I've got his zone down now.
Well, as long as he's consistent on both sides,
yep.
I normally.
Is that going to stay in, or is that going to just out of the reach of Emily Minot?
That's the one thing about it. I mean, as a ball player, you have to learn to adjust to what the umpires call.
Well, I like the way they're doing the umpires here today with 3 umpires. First base, third base, and obviously home plate. But it certainly makes for, in my opinion, a better officiated game. That one is foul again.
And you got to think probably if we'd only had 2 umpires, we probably wouldn't have got that illegal pitch. I mean, really, it would have been a tough situation for.
Well, then the other thing, that caught stealing over at third base.
Right. Yeah.
The umpire who was the third base umpire was right on top of that play, so that third umpire has definitely had an effect today. There's a very well hit ball, but Abby Brown is under it for the first out. So Nicole Dillow has popped out twice, once to left and once to right. First out of the inning. Caitlin Schonborn. She popped out to the shortstop in the first inning. Royals sent 6 batters to the plate in the first inning, scored 1 run on 3 hits. Have not had a hit since, went 3 up, 3 down in the second. Little high, evens the count at 1-1. High again. I've got to believe this cold weather and this wind has got to be affecting these pitchers today.
Oh, most definitely. Base hit, I think.
Yep. Tried to get it. Taylor Nail tried to make a diving play on that, but she just could not get to the ball in time. So
To right center.
I'm assuming that is going down as a hit.
With one away for the second baseman, number 3, Jordan Rager.
Jordan Rager steps in. She had a hit in the first inning, scored the only run of the game so far. Little excuse me, check swing foul ball there.
She didn't want that to happen.
One out, one on, 0-1 on Jordan Rager. There's a nice pitch over that outside corner.
0-2.
You know, people can complain that they're calling him outside, but the home plate umpire has been extremely consistent out there. There's another pop fly out to left field. Abby Brown is under it. She makes the play. That wind blowing across, I think, is definitely that. I think that stifled that one a little bit.
Yeah.
2 outs. That brings up Libby Ratliff. Had a base hit in the first inning. Caitlin Schonborn on first. Swing and a miss. Nice high fastball there.
I did hear that. They got super nice presents today.
That one's over the inside corner. And Heron's out ahead of Ratliff, 0-2.
I was right. Noblesville is playing Wapahane tonight. Rain out from last night.
Another boy, I think, but to commit armed robbery.
So that's where our friend Craig Atkins is at today.
Yeah, because he's the voice of Miller baseball and girls basketball.
Another excuse me check foul over to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, who does your track here in Southeastern?
I'm not sure.
We got the golden voice. Noblesville got the golden voice of Bob Tremaine. You know, of course, track's not an easy sport to do because you have to call first call, second call, third.
I think Greg Roberts does it here, if I remember right. He does a nice job.
Yeah, it's a tough job to do.
There's one that's going to go foul.
Out of play.
Mm-hmm.
Just a long foul ball.
Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 on.
And what the old coach used to come out when somebody knocked the crap out of the ball down the line like that. Son, it's just a long foul ball.
Mm-hmm. Another foul ball back. That's about 4 or 5 she's fouled back so far.
She's getting her money's worth.
The softball vendor likes that.
Yeah.
Another 2-2 pitch. That one is right over the head of the shortstop, Maddie Moore.
All the way to the fence.
All the way to the fence. And it looks like
she's got
Cookie
a
was
gun.
going to hold her, but she missed the sign. Dave Cook, the head coach of the Royals, had his hand straight up in the air, and Caitlin Schonborn ran right through it. So we'll give Libby Ratliff a base hit, but Caitlin Schonborn is out on a nice play from the center fielder all the way into home base for the third out of the inning. So in the inning for the Royals, there was no runs, there was 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on the bases. So at the end of 3, still Royals 1, Millers nothing. Terry, what do we got to talk about this time?
Well, how about our friends at Community Health Network? Community Health is Central Indiana's leader in providing health care service where and when patients need them. With any questions, you can contact Community Health at 317-355-7775 or ecommunity.com.
I'm looking down on the dugout there on the third base side and looking at Dave Cook. He's just kind of leaning there on his chin, and he tried. Dave, he tried to get Caitlin Schonborn to slow down, but she never slowed down coming around that base. I don't know if she just wasn't watching him or just disregarded the sign, but it definitely cost the Royals an opportunity to put some runs on the board, because there would have been runners at first and third, still 2 outs, but a possible scoring opportunity. For the Millers here in the top of the fourth, it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Deke Bullard. Leading off will be Brooke Heron. Heron grounded out to second base her first time up. There's a high pop-up. Shortstop Nicole Dillo is under it. She makes the play. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Noblesville playing Wapahani at the Dunk tonight. And
what's the score there? You got an update on that?
In the second inning, the bottom of the second inning, it's 0-0.
I'll tell you, it's been a treat trying to get games in this week.
Sure has.
Friday and Saturday were basically total washouts. First pitch to Abby Brown is a little bit inside for ball 1.
Yeah, you didn't have much of a chance at all on this past weekend. I mean, it was...
Well, where I live in Fishers, I had 4.5 inches of rain at my house in my rain gauge over the weekend.
That's a lot of rain. A lot of rain.
I live right behind Cumberland Road Park where they play the soccer there, Perry.
Mm-hmm.
The joke in my neighborhood is when it rains the way it did this weekend, we have lakefront property for several days. The 2-0 pitch, a little bit low. I think this is the first time that Alexis Maka has gone to a 3-0 count.
I believe you're right.
A 3-0 pitch, right in there. One thing I've noticed with doing both baseball and softball is the umpires in softball tend to call a little bit higher strike than baseball. The 3-1 pitch, fouled off, full count.
Yeah, she's got it back to full count now.
Just across the parkway here at Ken Seitz Field over to across left field, the varsity Royals were scheduled to play a doubleheader last night against Zionsville. First game ended up going 11 innings, so the second game ended up getting canceled. And it was a cool night, just like tonight, although we had a little bit of rain, too.
So when are you making that game out?
I don't know. Ball 4.
Because it almost has to be played because it's a conference game, right?
Well, I think what they're looking at is, quite frankly, they're looking. If they get the opportunity to make it up, obviously they'll make it up. But I think the other thing that they're evaluating right now is if we don't make it up, what is the effect on the conference?
That's true.
In neither Zionsville or Hamilton Southeastern are in the run for the championship. So this late in the season, it could be it could just be a lost game. Bree Turgesser takes the first ball for a strike. Abby Brown took off with the pitch and ends up on a stolen base on second base. Millers have had runners all 3 of the first innings on second base, but have not been able to get any of them to the plate yet. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Turgesser. That one's a little low, evens the count at 1-1. We've dropped a degree. It's 54 now. There's a high fly ball, but Danielle Plant is under that. Some days that without that wind blowing across, Perry, that could have been out of here.
Yeah.
But that crosswind definitely held that ball up. I've noticed when they get up there, they just seem to instead of a straight arc, they get up there and almost come straight down with that wind. Caitlin Lowry steps in.
My neighborhood plays there.
They play every morning.
Right over the outside, or rather the inside corner of the plate. Struck out looking in the second inning.
Was there, and some of their, a couple of their extras played with us.
That one just right back almost toward us. Ashton Keel got that mask off really quick, but unfortunately she didn't have a chance to make the play. About 3 or 4 rows up in the stands here. 0-2, 2 outs, 1 runner on second. Royals ahead 1-0. Little high and outside.
Not a bad 0-2 pitch to see if she'd
No,
bite.
it was good disciplined hitting on the part of Lowry not to go for that. A lot of batters would have gone for that high outside heat.
Yeah, this paddle's bigger than ping pong, right?
That's a little high also, evens the count 2-2. Let's see if she fouls back about 5 or 6. We've had batters up there at 2-2 who fouled 4 or 5 of them back so
We
far
sure
tonight,
have.
haven't we? That if that
Yes,
stays foul. Ooh, that was fair. That would have been a run for the Millers.
Yeah, she thing down.
Just get out in front of that a little bit too much. That'd have been a fastball. She might have put that in play, but that off-speed pitch, she just got out in front of that a little bit. We're in the top of the 4th. Miller is trying to tie this up. Royals trying to keep a 1-run lead. 2 outs, 2-2. Another foul coming right back toward us. Good catch by a fan here. In their black and gold Noblesville Miller winter jackets today.
2-2-2.
That one's going to go right up the center, and that is going to score a run unless play at the plate. No. And on the play, we'll give Lowry a base hit, give her second on the throw in. But more importantly, the Millers pick up their first hit of the game, or rather their first run of the game, and their 5th hit of the game. And we're all tied up. Brooke Rundle stepping in. Rundle, a .439 hitter, struck out looking her first time up. Second time through the order, it's always a little bit different. The batters have learned what to expect from the pitcher. They've also learned what to expect from the umpire. 0-1 on Rundle. Kaylee Lowry on second base represents the lead run for the Millers if they can get her across. And Rundle's in the hole, 0-2. Maka's probably feeling a little frustrated out there. She had Lowry up there with that 2-2 count for about, 4 or 5 pitches before she finally got a hit.
Yeah.
The 0-2 pitch, outside. I don't think you're going to fool Rundle on a pitch like that.
Yeah, she's a senior. She's been around a long time.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Rundle goes down, but more important for the Millers, they do score 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on the bases. So in the middle of the 4th now, this game is all tied up at 1-1.
Church, Hill, and Antrim, attorneys at law. From personal injury claims to complex business litigations to divorce cases, Church, Hill, and Antrim protect the rights of individuals, businesses, schools, and government bodies all around Indiana, including Noblesville, Fishers, Maryville, and Tipton. You can contact them at their Noblesville office, 317-773-5320.
Perry, I think we expected a low-scoring, close game today. And to be honest, it really can't get much closer. Both teams with one run. Both teams with 5 hits. And we're coming into the bottom of the fourth here with the Royals, and they're going to bring up their 5, 6, and 7 batters in the bottom half of the fourth inning for Coach Dave Cook and the Royals. That'll be Ashton Keel, Nicole Lang, and Jayla Gilliam coming up to bat. A little bit of a delay here because of Brooke Rundle having to get all of her equipment back on.
Which is the second time. It was the last time she batted, it was the same way.
Yep. And we are ready to go here in the bottom of the fourth.
Stepping up to the plate, catcher, number 31, Ashton Keel.
The Millers are in second place in the conference now behind the Avon Orioles, but both of those teams Millers have only played 2 games. The Orioles have only played 3 conference games. Grounded to Kaylee Lowry.
Keel grounds out, second to first.
And Keel is out for the first out of the inning.
Will be center fielder, number 35.
It's a little strange there. The sun.
Yeah. Be nice if it could provide a little heat for us.
Something we haven't seen for a while. Yep, kind of disappeared pretty quick. Disappeared about as quick as it came.
That one hits the outside corner, strike 1 on Nicole Lang. Miller's got a couple more road games before they get back home. They're going to be playing Kokomo on Thursday. Then they'll be at Hamilton Heights on Friday. Foul ball, 1-2. In those all-important conference standings, Royals in 4th place at 2-2. Westfield 1-2. Brownsburg 1-2. Fishers is 0-3 in the conference right now. Fishers, of course, will host the sectional this year. Evens account at 2-2. There's another foul ball.
2-2.
See what the Royals got coming up here. They're going to be at Anderson and Richmond before they return home here in another week to face one of the better softball teams in the state, the Mount Vernon Marauders.
Absolutely.
Foul ball straight back.
Had conversation with people the other day, with all the things that happened in the Anderson area and in that Madison County over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Schools like Pendleton Heights and Mount Vernon have really benefited from people moving out of Anderson out to those suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good programs there.
Full count. Both of these pitchers have thrown a lot of pitches so far tonight. Lang takes a walk, so the Royals have got a runner on.
That places a runner at first base with 1 away. For the designated player, number 7, Jayla Gilliam. Kaylee Carter is on deck.
And a runner for her probably. Number 6, Shelley Gertold.
We're going to get a pinch runner Shelby Berthold is going over to first base to run for Nicole Lang. Now, I would assume that probably Nicole will probably go back in to center field, but Shelby Berthold is going to run.
Get a little bit more speed there with the score 1-1.
Pinch runner at first base, number 6, Shelby Berthold. Julie Gilliam at the plate.
Walking up the steps with them.
Gillian is 0 for 1. Outside for the first pitch, 1-0. Outside again. Here's a throw over to first. Back in plenty of time.
How are you?
Athletic director from Hamilton Southeastern, Jim Self, just walking into the press box.
Absolutely.
There's a pop-up. It looks like the second baseman, Lowry, is going to be under that. Makes the
No,
play.
the first baseman.
That was mine. Had ended up taking the ball.
Wins the battle there.
Man, that
could have been dangerous. Yeah.
Bring to the plate, first baseman number 9, Kaylee Carter.
Boy, plays like that really make that runner leaves it out there to dry,
So 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. It looks like we may be getting a pinch hitter now here also, Perry.
And she's got a sweatshirt on.
Maybe Coach Self knows who the pinch hitter is without the sweatshirt.
Because you're waiting on him to tell us it ain't going to happen. Pitch hitting, Abby Taylor, number 11.
So now they're telling us it's Abby Taylor.
Mm.
0-1 in Taylor. A .513 hitter.
You got 2 outs here.
A little bit outside, evens it up at 1-1. There's a pop-up that's the shortstop. Moore is under it. She makes the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So in the bottom of the 4th for the Royals, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on the bases. We are through 4. The score is tied at 1-1.
Smith's Jewelers has been serving Hamilton County, including Noblesville, Fishers, Westfield, and Carmel for over 65 years. Many jewelry stores have come and gone, yet Smith remains. If one were to ask how and why, the answer would be our outstanding jewelry selection and customer service. The knowledgeable staff at Smith's Jewelers is eager to give our customers a memorable and positive experience. You can contact them at 317-773-3383.
Well, Perry, we're going to give you a little bit of a break here because Hamilton Southeastern Athletic Director Jim Self is over here to my left, and he's going to join us here for just a couple minutes. And I know it's your break time, Perry, so, according to Perry's contract, he gets a break in the 4th or 5th inning. So it is our pleasure to welcome to the microphone Jim Self, one of the 2 athletic directors here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. Jim, thank you, first of all, for all your hospitality. It's always great to be here when Hamilton County TV can come in and do a game with us here.
Well, we're excited to have you. Wish it was a little warmer evening for our fans out here, but glad we're getting to play.
Well, just as quick as we get the first Miller up, that'd be Olivia Stinson. She ended up lining the ball right back to the third baseman, Libby Ratliff, for the first out of the inning. So one up, one pitch, one out.
It's efficiency, Brad.
Yes, it is. Coach Cook preaches that, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jim, tell us what's new with athletics here at Hamilton Southeastern.
Well, I'll tell you, this weather's put a damper on spring sports here the last week or so, and it doesn't look very good coming into the weekend. But things are going well. We can't complain. We're blessed here at Hamilton Southeastern.
Lacrosse, I see they're doing lacrosse over there tonight behind us.
Yeah, that's new for us.
Turned out to be a pretty well accepted, hasn't it?
Absolutely. We got a lot of kiddos participating in both boys and girls lacrosse. 2 girls lacrosse teams, a varsity and a JV, and we have 3 teams in boys, a varsity and 2 JV teams.
We are going to be doing some lacrosse matches this coming weekend. Unfortunately, it won't be IHSAA. It will end up being Westfield. But there's a pop-up that Jordan Rager goes over, and she grabs that ball, and there's two outs already.
Well, I'll tell you, lacrosse has become extremely popular here in central Indiana and Hamilton County. And again, we got a lot of kids participating, and our kids play at a high level, and it's a fast, fun game to watch.
Now, this is the first year that it hasn't been a combined effort for lacrosse, right?
In girls, that's correct. This is the first year.
There's a well-hit ball to center field. Nicole Lang is under it. She makes the catch right at the fence to retire the side. So for the Millers, in the top of the 5th, that fly out to center field is a third out. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on the bases. We're tied at 1 apiece with the Royals coming up. So let's continue talking about lacrosse, Jim.
Well, again, it's a popular sport. We got a lot of kids participating. You know, I think it's really taken off at the younger levels. I think it's exploding here in Fishers, and you know, I don't know how many teams compete throughout the state on the girls' side or on the boys' side, but I'll tell you, the number continues to grow.
That's great. Of course, the big news out of the IHSAA this week is football realignment. That came out to be very interesting here in Hamilton County.
Yeah, that's maybe not a surprise when you start looking at the 6A schools and where they had to go, but I do think it's a little surprise that that Hamilton Southeastern and Fishers will be in with Pike and North Central. That will be new for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then heading south for the regional will be a difficult path, no question.
Yeah, because we've gone back and forth between that south route and that north route through the years. But Perry and I were talking earlier in the broadcast saying there's a ground ball foul for Danielle Plant, 0-1. That if you technically look at the locations of the schools, Carmel is north of Fishers because they're on the north side.
Yeah, that's correct.
Of what would be 131st Street extended.
I'm sure you have a lot of people out there that like to see Carmel go south, but I understand, and it is a geographical thing, and it's part of it. Got to go play the game.
Mm-hmm. Of course, one of the other 2 major factors here for us in Hamilton County that happened this year football-wise, Westfield comes up to 6A. And the other thing that quite frankly affected us was the fact that Cathedral went back to 5.
That is correct. That is correct. It's going to be interesting to create a rivalry with North Central and Pike. As an athletic director, I really enjoyed knowing that in the tournament you're going to have to beat a Carmel, you're going to have to beat a Noblesville, beat a Fishers, and those are natural rivalries. So it'll be interesting to see fan support of this new sectional.
Danielle Plant at the plate with a 2-2 count, no outs. We are in the bottom of the 5th, all knotted up at 1 each. Swing and a miss. She goes down swinging. That'll bring the top of the order up for the Royals. Nicole Dillow, she's flown out twice, once to center field and once to left field. Got a lot of good competition here in Hamilton County, Jim.
No question. We talked today after alignments came out. You pick a sport. it's going to be great competition in your IHSAA tournament in that sectional. You just can't hide here in Central Indiana, here in Hamilton County.
Well, the thing that one of the things that has amazed me about this, there's Nicole Dillo. She beats. I don't know. We're gonna have to see what how Janet. It's being scored a base hit. So Nicole Dillo ends up with a base hit on the play.
I think Miss Chandler's getting easier in her scoring throughout the years.
And also an error on the throw. So first error of the game that we've seen so far today.
Second now, with one away for right fielder 24,
Caitlin Schonborn steps in with an opportunity to put the Royals back in the lead here. Everything's tied up 1-1. That one is right over the head of Kaylee Lowry, and the Royals have got runners at first and third now with one out. 2 hits in a row, Jim. They're looking like they're ready to score here. And
I'll tell you what, that's big. That's 2 big plays in a row. That one just found a hole, didn't it, Brad?
it sure did. And you can't fault Kylie Lowry. She made every effort to get at that ball, and that ball was actually over toward her left, and I thought the wind might kind of blow that right back to her, because it's been interesting watching the fly balls out in the field today. They are going up in the air on a nice arc, but boy, when they come down, when they hit that wind, they're almost coming straight down.
Well, I came out to set up this afternoon, and I would have swore that wind was blowing straight out. Now it seems to be a crosswind, and it's affecting play, no question.
Count is even at 1-1, 1 out, 2 on for the Royals. Nicole Dillo at third, Caitlin Schonborn at first. Jordan Rager at the plate. She's flown out once and had a base hit in the first inning, scored the only run the Royals have.
No, they go out for back-to-back classes, yep. So it's 3 hours.
That one came in just a little bit low, a 2-1 count. I would imagine as cool as it is out there today, the pitchers are having a little bit of a hard time getting a good feel on the ball today, Jim.
I would think so. It's oh, there you go.
That's going to score a run. 3 hits in a row for the Royals, and the Royals score and go ahead in this game. And that'll leave runners at first and third, and that's going to bring up Libby Ratliff.
with one away.
Ratliff had a base hit in the first inning, base hit in the third inning. Opportunity for her to bring in another run here.
246 in our academic lab on goal day, so they go back-to-back blocks on one day.
Bailey Ryan is starting to loosen up in the bullpen.
Here, that's Jenny Turlock, we'll say. Okay, number 10. We'll call her number 10.
Got a courtesy runner at first base. Pinch runner at first base. It's going to be Jenny Turlock.
I think. I'll add that. Yeah, they give you a thumbs up. Grandpa, probably.
No throw. Well, there was actually. Jenny almost got caught there, Jim. She kind of slowed down when that ball went right back to Brooke Aaron.
I think Coach Cook's having a conversation with her about that.
I wouldn't be doubted. He's had a couple little base running errors here already today in that. But well, Jim, I see Perry is back from his break. So as usual, we appreciate your hospitality here at Hamilton Southeastern and wish you good luck. Only a few more weeks of school, then maybe you'll get a little rest and relaxation over the summer.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate
Thanks for having us
you
here.
guys.
We appreciate it.
You bet.
1-0 is the count on Libby Ratliff. Runners on second and third now for the Royals. 2-0. Brooke Aaron in a big jam here right now. And here comes the brain trust from the Millers out to try to figure out just what they're going to do here. Almost had another big base running faux pas there by the Royals, Perry. I don't know if you saw that while you were out. And Always good to have a chat with Jim Self, the one of the two athletic directors here at Hamilton Southeastern High School. He and Greg Habegger always have treated us folks from Hamilton County Television well back in the old hometown days. They always welcomed us here, and that is greatly appreciated. And it sure does make a little bit of a difference. Hey, you want to talk a little bit about Bold and Sassy here while we got a timeout here? You know, they are the official stylists of old Jim Wofford and young Bill Wofford.
Absolutely, and you get 10% off if you mention Bill or Jim. And so Bold and Sassy is located in Noblesville. Call them at 317-501-0572.
Looks like they're telling us now the runner on second base, I believe, is Abby Taylor. There's a pop-up, and
Gary Smith moved over to second.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she's only a junior, but she's a 3-year starter. So
Now stepping to the plate is catcher number 31, Ashton Keel.
2 outs here.
Brooke Heron would love to end the inning here, but the Royals would like to put a couple more across here. Royals have taken the lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Royals with 2 runs, 8 hits. Millers with 1 run and 5 hits.
Uh-oh.
That's going to score at least 1.
Could be 2 here.
Could be 2, yes, it will be 2. Throw to the plate. Did not throw, so
2 more runs there. That makes it 3-1.
that Ashton Keel.
Putting a runner at first base with 2 away.
And we have another courtesy runner who has got a sweatshirt on, so we do not have any idea who that is. They're saying Eliza Moore.
That's who usually runs for her. So
Mm-hmm.
at least it's halfway close, I guess.
Nicole Lang will step up to the plate. She'll be the 7th batter of the inning for the Royals. They've already put 3 across on
Jim,
4 hits.
Is our is our cameraman frozen up there yet? Or?
I can't imagine. These ladies are freezing, so I shut that door. But I asked him if he drew the short straw. He said yes.
He's young and strong.
Nicole Lang reentering back.
Nicole Lang at the plate. Jenny Smith grabs that one for the 3rd out.
Second baseman takes it to retire the side.
So for the Royals in the bottom of the 5th, they end up with 3 runs and 4 hits. There was 1 error and 1 left on the bases. Now at the end of 5, it's Royals 4, Millers 1.
Well, no job is too small or too big for Indiana Restoration Services. Whether you are a homeowner or a large business experiencing water, fire, or storm, a homeowner that simply needs a good carpet cleaning, Indiana Restoration has you covered. You can contact them at 317-776-9942. Or check them out on their website, indianarestoration.com.
You know, Perry, I've got to believe with as much rain as we had Friday and Saturday that they probably had a few flooded basements around. And, our friends at Indiana Restoration probably got a couple calls over the weekend.
I would say you were correct.
We're moving into the top of the 6th. Miller's got the 3, 4, and 5 batters coming up.
Reentering in center field defensively is Shelby Berthold. Up to the plate for the Millers, number 12, Amy Minette, the first baseman.
My little stroll in left field over to the restrooms, that wind is brutal out there.
It
I'm
is.
here to tell you.
Looks like Shelby Berthold is going to stay in center field for the Royals, at least for now. High foul ball down the left field side, out of play. So the one change for Dave Cook's Royals. Emily Minot flown out to center, struck out. That one bounces in. 2 balls and a strike. Oh, that sun started to come out. That did that take a little bit of the chill away at all?
No, not at all. Don't let that fool you.
Well, they're saying right now it's still 54 degrees out here. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 2-2.
Well, Brad, it's a cold
Yeah.
50.
We are fortunate that we are at least blocked from the wind, and we're able to work in a press box here at Hamilton Southeastern, unlike we would be at Noblesville.
Yeah,
if this was at Noblesville,
We'd be freezing.
We'd be out there. That's a very well hit ball. It's
Oh,
gone. So Emily Minot puts one out of the park.
You know, she's been swinging the bat well in this game. You know, I mean, you know, the couple ones she hit down the line,
A very well hit ball. And, you know, we've seen that ball hit out in that same area earlier today, Perry. And what seemed to happen is seemed to get up in the air and just die. But Emily got everything on that one, and that was a very, very well hit ball.
well, Brooke Aaron can definitely help herself here.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Cook's got somebody warming up in the bullpen.
Looks like Emily Hosfield down there. Two balls, no strikes on Brooke Aaron. Grounded out and flied out so far in this game. Another high fly. This one, Danielle
catchable.
Plant is under, and she makes the play for the first out of the inning.
Aaron flies out to the left fielder for out number 1. Now stepping up to the plate, number 2,
Abby Brown steps in, struck out and walked, and scored the Millers' only run in the 4th inning. 4-2 here in favor of the Royals. We're in the top of the 6th. The Millers already have one across in this inning, hoping to get some more.
Yeah. I think you're fine. It's the goofy.
Over the outside corner for a called strike 1.
Well, tell Marty I need him to climb up there and adjust.
The 1 pitch is on the way from Maka.
I think
Another high pop-up. That could be trouble.
Oh, what
Right
a
fielder
catch.
Caitlin Schonborn made a beautiful running catch on that ball. Because that one was definitely tailing away from her. The wind was taking that away from her. Good play by Caitlin Schonborn.
Absolutely.
Second out of the inning, designated player Bree Tragesser steps in. Tragesser with a double and a fly out to left so far. Takes the first pitch for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got her to go for that high outside fastball that time, Perry.
Sure did.
Not like in this weather.
Another swing and a miss. 1-2.
2 of the 3 nights are closed. This is opening day.
Deke Bullard calls timeout and has Tragesser down there talking to her. I think both of those pitches that she swung at least the second one, looked like it was very, very far out of the zone.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's what Coach is talking to her about.
You got a score on the Millers this afternoon yet?
Yeah, they're up.
The baseball Millers, let's clarify that.
Yeah, 1-0.
1 and 2, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 6th. Swing and a miss. That'll retire the side.
No, I'm sorry, 7-0.
So in the top of the 6th for the Millers, 1 run on 1 hit. The big hit, a home run by Emily Minette. No errors and nobody left in the bases. We are in the middle of the 6th with the Royals ahead 4-2.
Logan Street Signs and Banners celebrating 25 years. Logan Street Signs and Banners celebrate in that last minute signage and banners. Noblesville is serving Noblesville, Hamilton County since 1992. You can contact them at 317-773-7200 or check them out on their website, loganstreetsigns.com.
Hey, did you notice those nice new credentials that Jim gave us?
They're great.
I'll bet that was done by Logan Street Signs Banners.
I bet so too.
Beautiful, beautifully done.
Yeah, they do good work down there.
Mm-hmm. And they've done it there for 25 years. They actually did. I found out the other day they actually did. They were actually on Logan Street at one time.
They were 22 years ago.
But then they moved. They moved to South 10th Street down there in the south end of town, right down there by the co-op. Of course, what else have you got there? You got the old Wofford Theater. You have got Noblesville Trophies. You've got Yancey's Tuxedo Rental. You got auto dealers. You got a little bit of everything down there.
Absolutely. Indiana Restorations down there. We got a new pitcher here.
Yeah, the new pitcher for the Millers is Bailey Ryan.
New pitcher for the Millers is Bailey Ryan. Jayla Gilliam, the designated player up to the plate for the Royals.
Let's see what we've got on Miss Ryan here. Ryan's first pitch is a little bit outside. Jayla Gilliam leading off the bottom of the 6th here for the Royals. There's a little pop-up that first baseman Emily McNett ends up making the out in foul territory.
First baseman Kaylee Carter.
Kaylee Carter. Bailey Ryan has a 6.85 ERA. She's 1-1 in the season, 6 appearances. 15 in the third innings pitched. Giving up 22 hits, 19 runs. Struck out 10, walked 14. So that's the line on Miss Ryan.
I have on my iPad here my grandson's ball game, and it looks a little bit warmer down in Tennessee.
I don't want to see it. They're in short sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm sitting.
The sun is shining.
I'm sitting here in a winter jacket.
But we love it.
People see me driving up somewhere, and they see the back of my car with about every kind of jacket you can ever have in it, and they kind of look at me funny, and I go, hey, when you do sports stuff like this, you've got to be prepared,
for anything.
Especially this time of year. I mean, it can be 80 degrees at noon, and by 4 o'clock, it's down in the 50s. There's a nice pitch over that outside corner. Kaylee Carter up there facing a full count now from Bailey Ryan.
Walked her.
Patience by Carter, and she's on base. That'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Danielle Plant. Plant is
Placed at first base with one away.
0 for 2.
Number 15, Danielle Plant. Nicole Dillo on deck.
1 out, 1 on. There's a nice bunt. Rundle handles it over to first, the only play she can make. And Danielle Plant sacrifices.
Nice throw down there by Rundle and Gracie Smith coming over from
Yeah,
second.
she did a good job of covering over there.
That'll break to the plate shortstop.
Who we got at third base now there, Perry? I can't see who that is.
Second, 2 away.
Number 9. Oh, so
They just
Kaylee
switched
Lowry.
spot-
Yeah,
They just switched spots.
Kylie Lowry and Grace Smith just plain changed places.
Uh-oh.
Got her. Nice heads-up play there.
Shortstop, Maddie Moore, to retire the side.
I guess that's why she's going to Butler, right?
Yeah, I can understand that for sure. So in the bottom of the 6 for the Royals, there was no runs, there was no hits, 1 error, 1 left on. We're going to the 7th with the Royals leading it 4-2.
Well, I want to thank another one of our sponsors. Noblesville Trophies offers a large range of products, including sports trophies, corporate awards, and in-house embroidery. Noblesville Trophies provides you with the same-day service for those last-minute decisions. Contact them at 317-773-7391 or check them out on their website at noblesvilletrophies.com, and they're also can be followed on Facebook and Twitter.
You know, Perry, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank Jim and Will for the great job that they have done today producing and directing this game, especially Will. He's up on the roof above us here, and that wind has just been something fierce today. You were out in it for a few minutes, and everybody who's come through this press box this afternoon knows just how hard that wind is blowing. And
He's on top.
Yeah, and you know, and on top of that, these guys have not only been out here for the game, but they were here, you know, a couple hours before the game, get everything set up. So it's not just game time. A lot of work. But Bill Wofford, Jim Wofford, Jim, the owner of Logan Street Signs, Noblesville Trophies, and about 25 other businesses around the
Wofford
Noblesville.
movies, the Wofford movies on the go, theater movies on the go. He's got everything going.
He's an active little active gentleman there in Noblesville. There's one coming straight back at us. Fortunately, it hit the post between us. I've never had the glass shatter on me here, but there's always a first.
First, yeah.
That's 0-2 on Kylie Lowry. Rung her up.
That was probably a little scary for Will on top there.
Yeah, that thing hit just below the roof. Got a pinch hitter here for the Millers now, batting in place of Brooke Rundle. Looks like it's, I believe that's number 18, Shani Gertz, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is.
These gals got this long hair. It sometimes gets tough, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they got more than one number back, even with one number, it's hard to see. But with two, it does make it a little bit more difficult. 1 out, nobody on. We're in the top of the 7th. Royals hoping for a win here to get to 7-6 and 3-2 in the conference. First pitch to Gertz is a strike, 0-1. With the exception of that home run that she gave up in the 6th inning. Been a good game so far for Alexis Maka. She has scattered 6 hits. The Millers have made 1 error.
It's been a pretty good game. I mean, a well-played game.
The 0-2 pitch coming to Gertz. Strike 3 swinging. So the Millers are down to their final out. And this will be the center fielder, Olivia Stinson.
We have 2 away, stepping to the plate, center fielder number 11, Olivia Stinson, Maddie Moore on deck.
Stinson's lined out to the third baseman and grounded out to third. A little bit high. There's a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. That ought to end it. And it does.
Nice stretch over there by the first baseman.
Good stretch by Kaylee Carter, and Nicole Dillo did a good job of getting that ball and scooping it up and getting it over there. So, final score now, Royals 4, Millers 2. Did you want to talk a little bit about Wofford Theater before we go here?
Yeah, let's mention it. They got some movies coming up here, free movies at Witten Park in Fishers. At Saxony, May 20th, Finding Dory, and then there's movies in June 3rd and June 17th. And then every year in Forest Park, Jim does those free classic movies, and they'll start June the 2nd through August the 4th. And then we're going to do a night of the Noblesville Street Dance in the Federal Hill Commons, which will be July the 8th, and that'll be the first movie ever played at the
Commons.
At the Commons. So exciting time for us at Wofford Theater.
Well, here's the bottom line, Perry. This was we talked about this before before this game started, and thought we'd probably have a fairly close competitive game, and it did turn out to be exactly that way. The final tallies for the Noblesville Millers: they had 2 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. The Royals had 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. And I'd like to remind you that coming up this Saturday, it'll be quite a phenomenal day, weather cooperating, we hope, for Hamilton County Television, as we're going to be bringing you on Saturday Noblesville girls and boys lacrosse at 1 and 3 o'clock. And then 7 o'clock Saturday night, I'll be out at Dunker Field, and we'll have the Noblesville Millers and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals coming into town. We'd like to thank the IHSAA softball for today's broadcast on Hamilton County Television, being brought to you by Logan Street Signs and Banners, celebrating 25 years of the business. Also like to thank our other great sponsors: Noblesville Trophies, Wofford Theater, Movies on the Road, Community Health, Church, Hiddle and Antrim, Ivy Tech, Smith's Jewelers, Mark Hairbrand, Bold and Sassy Salon, Indiana Restoration, and Yancey's Fine Apparel and Tuxedo. On behalf of Perry Williams, my name is Brad Silbert. Thank you for joining us. Good night. No. You're the legend, man.
We both have done quite a